After a ton of work on the interior over the summer, Steve and Robin get out of the boathouse and get adventurous up in Maine. But before they go, a couple of important deliveries arrive: the head and the deck prisms. And after some fun in the outdoors, Steve and Robin pay a visit to their friends Pete and Courtney and get a tour of their boat, Norna. Just before she left last week, Carolyn's final project was to put down on paper the first draft of Steve's interior plans.
So in the forward area, we've got that four-peak with what's going to be stowage and anchor stowage and chain stowage. And then there's going to be that beautiful mahogany bulkhead from Victoria. After that, we're in that forecastle berth area with that double berth, the mast, and the hatch that's going to open up right above your head. And then, as of yet unplanned, shelves and locker storage. Moving aft through that lovely bulkhead partition, we've got that settee bunk that I've been working on. That maybe will go a little bit more like this, perhaps, but it's a good visual representation with some lockers and shelves, the lovely leaf-out table, and then across from the settee bunk is going to be a really cool workspace. That is just super exciting when that's going to start happening. We've got that bulkhead, the head area, which is changing around a little bit, but again, it is pretty representative of what it is. And then across from that, we've got the wood stove, some wood storage, and a nice little area to come stoke the fire. And then there's the galley on the other side of that with the propane stove for most cooking purposes. And we got some sinks, some stowage, and then a reefer freezer situation within a countertop area to give you a good workspace in the galley. And then my little creative liberty I took with a quarter turn round companionway, which I thought was really elegant and fun, space saving. So we'll see what Steve does. You got the nav station, and then kind of the aft area is still to be designed. So we know we're getting the pilot berth, we know where the diesel is, but the rest of it we just kind of left empty for the moment. But it was a really fun project, figuring out how to get back into conveying information visually. And oh man, my favorite part was this little tiny detail of the piano hinge doorway that's going to go. It's mounted on starboard side, like everyone was very concerned about, opening up for that access piece. That was a really fun little detail to put in.
Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you so much for putting this together.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see what's in my brain on paper, because I'm not a good drafts person. Mine is chicken scratch. So this is pretty cool. And I like the curved companionway. We'll see. That could be a fun steam bending woodworking challenge. We'll see what happens.
Thanks for letting me put my 12 years of art training to use.
So one thing that we've been waiting on for the interior is the head. We ordered it like 14, 15 weeks ago, but it's been back ordered. And it finally just came. So this is it. And this is an air head, and it is a composting toilet. And I put composting in quotes because it's a really small container, and this isn't actually enough to compost your fecal matter. What this is really doing is it's a desiccant system. So when you have bodily waste, really the two most common ways to deal with it are add a lot of water and make it really liquidy, put it into a holding tank, or reduce the water and dry it out. And that's this approach. So a lot of marine systems traditionally have what you call a black water holding tank. You'd use the bathroom like kind of in a normal house. You'd flush it with water. That goes down into the tank. And then you'd either have that pumped out at a marina, or if you're offshore, you would run that often through a macerator pump, which grinds it all up and pumps it overboard. But you literally have a tank full of fecal water sitting in your bilge. So what this does is it separates. There's a spot in the front here. So your number 2 goes in the hole, and urine goes to these 2 drains, which leads to this bucket in the front. And this is just spring-loaded. You pop it out, screw the cap on it, take it up on deck, and dispose of it. So if you're offshore, you can just dump it off. If not, you can take it up to the marina and pour it into the toilet. And then in the bowl, you put in some desiccant material. So it comes with coca fiber bricks, which are really, really dry. So you put those in there, you do your business, you crank the handle, and you stir up all of your fecal matter with your coca fiber. And what that does is it starts to dry it out. And then the other part of the system is a ventilation hose that goes in the side. And it has a fan that vents to the outside of the boat. So between the fan pumping the air through all the time, that helps a lot to reduce the smell. But the real thing is it's drying it all out. And then after numerous uses, this starts to fill up. If you're offshore far enough, you can dump it overboard, or you can take it up onto land and dispose of it. But pretty much no matter what way you cut it, whether you do a composting desiccant head like this, or you do a more traditional holding tank, you're dealing with poo. None of it's pleasant, and it's all part of the game. So this is the airhead, and now that we have that, we can finish mocking up where the head's going to go. And this here is actually the bulkhead for the head. So one side, the oak side here, is all sanded, and if we look underneath, we can see that the bottom side, the cedar side that will go into the head, has all been painted with Total Protect. There's been a few other things that we ordered many weeks ago that have been back ordered. And 2 of those are mushroom vents, which we're not going to need for a while, but we wanted to get them so that we could kind of see their size and how far they're going to protrude below the deck and where we want to put them. But these are pretty simple. You cut a hole in the deck, and the mushroom vent gets screwed down. And then when you turn the screw, you raise and lower the mushroom cap. So when the weather's good, you want lots of ventilation, you open it all the way up. And when the weather's really crummy, suck it all the way down. So that's one of the smaller ones. And if we look in this one, you can see the rubber ring. And that is what this seals against, so that when you suck this down all the way and snug it up, even if you take green water over the deck of the boat, it should in theory keep it out. And we are also waiting on these, which are deck prisms. So usually these are used and they're laid into the deck, and then they've got bronze plate that goes over them. And what these do is the light hits and then the triangles refract. So it takes whatever light is hitting the surface of this and spreads it out throughout the interior of the hull. And we're going to do something a little different than tradition with these. Like I said, usually they're mounted in a deck like that. And what we're going to do is put them in the side of the cockpit like that, so that they're flush on the inside of the cockpit. They protrude on the inside, and that's going to shine light into the galley area and to either side of the engine compartment, which is usually a pretty dark, dank corner of the boat. And by having the deck prisms there, we can shine a bunch of light in there, which will make working and seeing things easier. And it'll also help keep wet and mold and fungus and all of that stuff at bay, because sunlight is great for that. So it's been a while waiting for all this stuff. It was all back ordered for COVID. It's going to be a little bit before we install it into the boat, but we're really happy to have it here and have it on hand and not be worried about when it's going to come. Robin and I are going to take off to the ocean and the mountains and go have a little fun because I have not had much time off in a very long time. And when we get back, we're going to get this bulkhead put in. We're going to continue cleaning up and working in the forepeak and on the bunk that Carolyn was working on. And then Wes, who's been here a couple times before, is going to come and put his cabinet making skills to use with me in the interior. So looking forward to that when I get back from this little break.
Cool, first climb at a new cliff. So neither Robin or I have climbed here before, so we're gonna throw a couple of these routes on top rope and just get a feel for what the rock's like and what the gear placements look like. And if all seems good, maybe we'll pull it and do some leading, or maybe we'll do just a bunch of top roping. Either way, it is an amazing, amazing location. So beautiful. It's really fun having these waves just pummeling in below you. Well, we did one climb and we're gonna pack it in. It is just entirely too hot. We are hoping that down by the water it wouldn't be too bad, but we are just sweating buckets. And if you're a climber, you know that that makes climbing really challenging and not as much fun. So I think we're gonna try to come back either later tonight or super early tomorrow morning when it's a lot cooler. And for now, we're gonna go figure out something else to do. Thankfully, there are a lot of amazing things to go do, so not a big deal.
1, 2, 3.
How was it?
Woo!
Robin's happy.
Hell yeah!
I thought I was gonna lose that for a second.
alpinist, but I would say that looks like a backwards S shape right about there. One of the features we were looking at.
Nice. Yeah, let's go up and check it out.
I have to like use the branches as like climbing holds, but then like every couple of steps my foot will like break through.
There you are.
Hi!
Yeah, I had the same thing. For a while, I was basically just going treetop to treetop.
I'm like, this is an impalement hazard.
All right. So I'm thinking we go down here, cut across, and we aim for right up in there.
Yep.
And then that'll let us kind of go up. And I think we want to get up to that like little point there. And then that should let us kind of see exactly where we want to go to get in.
Yeah.
Climbing! Hello, hello.
Sorry it took so long.
Oh, you did great. That little overhang was fun.
Yeah.
Leave it to you to pick the overhang on the alpine route.
Yeah. This part was the scariest part.
I almost just took a rock to the face. The rope must have just knocked one of these off. I just had like yay-sized stone go like whoo.
Alright, safety knot in.
Perfect. Thank you. Nice lead.
Thank you, honey. There were a couple real moves in there.
So we started here, climbed up through here, and up the face to here, and then into here, and then the ridge line to the top. That was a great climb. I don't know if it was an established route or not. We just kind of like made up our own thing, went where it looked fun. It was a great climb. Beautiful location. Can't really ask for much of a better view. And after being along the coast, it was really nice. The distinct lack of humans. Look at, no humans, none. Snowshoe Hare's like, you don't see me, la la la. Oh man, you are not scared of us, are you? Shut up, no way.
And that's where we climbed on the right.
Yeah. Yeah, we would have been climbing into the clouds today.
Hand me that line right there, Steve, or just hang on to it. Don't let it go over there. No, she got the big butt. Wow.
There's a dog.
Yeah, it's Layla.
Hey, Courtney.
Let everybody on.
Layla will
They'll lick your face like crazy. God.
Why don't you get off first, Steve, since you're right there? Step on the seat. Yeah.
Robin,
May,
Courtney,
May.
Courtney, Robin.
Look who's here, Layla. It's me.
But basically up there is just the garage.
Yeah,
Big giant
that's the folks
garage
that-
up there.
With the
Everything's in buckets because she's got a traditionally laid deck, so
trying to keep
it
things somewhat
moves
dry,
and, yep.
just in case. But she's been doing good lately.
Yep, being up
And
in Maine helps.
I just sit up here and I can load the wood burn
Yep, there's a wood
right
burner
here.
right
So
there.
it's right here. We can got some firewood right here and everything. Just throw that in there and have a little fire if we want. And then I got the pump down here for pumping the bill job.
Emergency. We do have electrical.
So
but
if it's really nasty out in your hove too, you can just sit down here and pump the boat out so you don't sink. One thing we found too is that, for instance, right now is a perfect example. I want to grab some bread out of here.
yeah, there's no door on
I don't
some
have to
things.
open the door. It's just got a high.
High front.
Yeah, because doors are kind of a pain.
Sometimes they can be a pain in the
They
ass.
look
Sometimes
nice,
they're
though.
not. Sometimes they
Yeah,
are.
you're not looking at all the stuff, but and like for instance behind you there's some buckets, but that's
When we're offshore, we use that for food.
yeah
Quick
we just
grab food.
we just put a bunch of
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
back
yeah.
there and you
Things
can
that you
just
wanna
grab
grab
it
quick.
out.
These used to be doors under here, all underneath here. I turned them into canvas.
Yeah, she used canvas instead, so you
With
can just
snaps.
that way you can just unsnap a little corner and grab out what you need
And yeah,
and
that
put
way you
it
don't
back.
lose
Whereas the
everything.
door, the whole door has to come down, and you know,
Yeah.
it's kind of a something to think about.
Yeah.
So this door came off. I mean, the wood came off of a job I was doing. We were putting all new planks on a 17-foot Chris Craft runner bow. And when we were done, we had some mahogany left over, and the guy said, "Yeah, you can have it." So we made this door out of that. And then Courtney, these are leftover pieces from something that Courtney just kind of glued on there for a design. And then we put a teak floor in with a grate.
You can turn the light on too, Pete. That way
Yeah.
there's a little bit of lighting. I don't know how good the lighting is.
And back here we got a cedar box to put your towels in.
Oh yeah,
Cedar
it's
lined
nice
box
to have a
keep
cedar
your
lined
towels
box.
dry.
10
They
out
smell
of 10.
kinda nice.
Recommend.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And then that
Pull your
angle,
towels
that
out. and,
angled,
like,
Oh yeah.
having this on an angle gives you different sizes, you know, where you can fit things that are different sizes and whatnot, which is nice. And then this used to work. We don't even use that anymore. Truth
I know.
is, you don't really need two faucets in it, but I guess it'd be nice with company that brush your teeth. But we just haven't hooked up the foot pump yet, so we gotta do that. And then the toilet sits up. Actually, this is a little higher level, so we got a little block of starboard that goes underneath that, which makes it nice when you pull that pee jug out. That block of starboard comes out of there, so you got a little room to drop it, you know? So it's just that much different, the thickness of a piece of starboard, basically, and we just slide that piece of starboard under there. You can slide it out when that's a piece of black starboard we'll never, you know, have a problem with. But it keeps it from easier to take this jug off. You might get a kick out of this, Steve. Look at that door now. Look at this door. See how it's on a weird angle? I made that door in the shop. And then when I put it in there, I was like, you know what? I'm not changing it. And see how it's on? It looks like a Dr. Seuss door. It's kind of like on an angle. But it actually worked out pretty good because it gave me a little more clearance on opening the door, which is hilarious. But anyways.
And I'm nothing about sailing, like zero.
Good.
But I grew up on fishing boats.
You'll be fine.
So I
That's better.
can handle the water. I just know nothing. You know, you're saying words, and I'm like, I have to learn a whole new language.
Yeah.
It is a whole language.
It's pretty simple, though, really. It's just, yeah, it's fun. It's so simple, that's what makes it fun.
Since watching you build your boat, I've learned a lot about Norna, actually, just the way she's built. You know, just seeing how Arabella's coming together. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. I understand now. It's been kind of cool. It's an adventure.
Yeah. So this skylight's kind of cool because it opens this way.
Oh yeah, that's got some air in too.
Or, if you want, you can just lift the whole thing up with this hook.
Yeah.
And the whole thing lifts up, and you leave those down, and it acts like a wind scoop.
Yeah.
So it's hinged back here.
Nice.
That's really cool.
And we put a screen on that, and it's good to have screens. Definitely remember
for
screens.
sure.
Other ones I've seen that are really cool are perfectly square, so you can pick them up and turn them.
Oh, that's
And then you can open the front or the back or whatever, you know, and that's kind of a neat idea
That's
too.
a really good idea.
Yeah. So you can let wind come in this way or from the front, whether you're anchored or sailing.
Cruise repairs, you'll have plenty of those. Speaking of which, yeah, definitely. I remember when you broke the table off when I was standing in the cockpit and the wave broke?
Yeah, Courtney, I woke up, I was laying on the floor because it was kind of rough.
It was really rough, so it was like nice to lay on the floor.
And I wake up to Courtney looking down the stairs with a wall of water coming around her back, coming right down in here. A wave had broke into the boat.
Yeah.
And so I got up and grabbed something and broke it.
No, you broke this. You broke this table, like the freaking table leaf. You just like ripped it right off. And this is a robust table. There is no.
So yeah, everything was fine, but the cockpit was full of water, and I don't know, just the waves are like rolling by you, you know, and every once in a while one just rolls in. Yeah. It only happened to us twice.
Then I was in the cockpit each time.
And it was night.
And it was night. I was really glad I was clipped in. So that was good. And I had my, life vest. You do wear your life vest.
So yeah, we're lucky people, as Captain Nelson would say. Got a chance to do all this sailing and stuff.
Well, I mean, you worked pretty hard for it.
Yeah, we did.
It's not like someone handed you a fully functioning boat. Sounds like you got a bit of a haul and then went from there.
Yeah.
Still not so sure if it's fully functioning, but
Yeah,
here we are.
Great. I think it's been so good since bringing it up to Maine. Has really.
Yeah.
It's rescued both the boat and us, I would say.
Yeah, Maine's a good place for that.
Thank you.
So we asked for names for the bilge dragon, and we ended up choosing Bellota, the bilge dragon, which means acorn in Spanish. We thought that was pretty fitting, and it had a nice ring to it. So we know some of you love Bellota the bilge dragon, and some of you hate Bellota the bilge dragon. That's besides the point. But what is the point right now is that some of you asked for this as a t-shirt. So we aim to please. So the next t-shirt campaign will launch this coming Friday. That'll be the 17th, and it will run till the 1st. And it will be this image. So this is what the t-shirt will look like. So as usual, the t-shirt campaign will run for 2 weeks. It's a limited edition. We'll never print these again. And thank you to everyone who has contributed to the project in one way, shape, or form. Major thanks to folks who support us through Patreon. That's really the bread and butter, and you can say keeps the lights on and keeps Ben, the video editor, paid and keeps the production coming. And the things like the t-shirt campaigns, the wood offcuts, the rivet sales, all that kind of stuff, that's what really helps us when we've got to go drop a big chunk of change. So that's what helps us do things like buy the diesel engine and get things for the systems, order the bronze that we need. And coming up this winter is going to be starting to get the diesel set up, which means gonna prop shaft, propeller, and we're also going to want to start diving into rigging and sails, which will be a really great wintertime project. And we are at a point where we can realistically start to dive into that. And those are going to be some pretty big ticket items and some expensive parts of the build. So having the t-shirt campaigns and the wood sales and the things like that and that support really makes it possible that when the time comes, we can put that coin on the table and get what we need to keep rolling. So thank you so much to everyone who has supported in whatever way, shape, or form you have, and look forward to seeing you here every Friday.